Welcome to Outside View Scandals. Today we're delving into a scandalous tale from medieval England. Richard II's dramatic deposition in 1399 by none other than his cousin Henry Bolingbroke. It's a story of ambition, betrayal, and a king whose rule crumbled under the weight of his own decisions. If you think modern politics is messy, wait until you hear about this medieval power struggle. To understand Richard II's downfall, we need to start with the man himself. Born in 1367, Richard ascended to the throne at the tender age of 10 after the death of his grandfather Edward III. His father, the Black Prince, had been a celebrated warrior, but he passed away before he could inherit the crown. This left Richard in a precarious position, an inexperienced boy king in a court full of seasoned nobles and political sharks. But hey, no pressure, right? Initially, Richard's reign was managed by regents and advisors, as one would expect for a child king. However, as he grew older, Richard began to assert his authority, and not always in ways that endeared him to his subjects or his nobles. He was known for his extravagance, his reliance on favorites, and his tendency to sideline the traditional power structures of medieval England. Richard's court became a hub of luxury filled with artistic patronage and high culture, which might have been great for a Renaissance fair, but didn't sit well with a country facing economic and political turmoil. Let's not forget the context here. England was grappling with the aftermath of the Black Death, ongoing tensions with France in the 100 Years' War, and growing unrest among the lower classes. The 1381 Peasants' Revolt, which occurred early in Richard's reign, was a stark reminder of the simmering discontent in the kingdom. While Richard initially showed promise by personally addressing the rebels, an act that earned him some early respect, his later actions would squander much of that goodwill. And one of Richard's most infamous traits was his penchant for favoring a small circle of advisors and courtiers. These men, known as his favorites, were often seen as manipulative and self-serving. Their influence alienated the broader nobility, who felt excluded from power and increasingly frustrated by Richard's autocratic style. Among these favorites were figures like Robert de Vere, the Duke of Ireland, whose rapid rise in status and power caused widespread resentment. Richard's favoritism created a divided court, laying the groundwork for future conflict. By the 1390s, Richard's rule had taken a darker turn. He began to exhibit increasingly authoritarian tendencies, using his royal prerogative to bypass parliament and impose his will. He levied heavy taxes, suppressed dissent, and punished those who opposed him with ruthless efficiency. And critics accused him of tyranny, and his reputation suffered as stories of his extravagance and arbitrary rule spread throughout the kingdom. So, enter Henry Bolingbroke, Richard's cousin and the son of John of Gaunt, one of the most powerful nobles in England. Henry, the Duke of Hereford, was a popular and capable figure who had served as a military commander and had a strong claim to the throne. In 1398, Henry found himself exiled by Richard after a dispute with another noble, Thomas Mowbray. This exile, initially set for 10 years, was later extended to life after the death of John of Gaunt, depriving Henry of his inheritance. And now, if there's one thing you don't do in medieval politics, it's deprive a powerful noble of his land and titles. Henry's exile proved to be the catalyst for Richard's downfall. While Richard was busy leading a campaign in Ireland, Henry returned to England in 1399 with a small but determined force. Officially, he claimed to seek only the restoration of his inheritance, but it quickly became clear that his ambitions went much further. Henry's return sparked a wave of support from disaffected nobles and commoners alike, who saw him as a more stable and just alternative to Richard. Richard's response was, to put it mildly, underwhelming. He returned from Ireland to find his kingdom in turmoil, his supporters deserting him and his authority crumbling. Facing little resistance, Henry marched across England, gathering momentum as he went. By the time Richard was captured and brought to London, well, it was clear that his reign was effectively over. In September 1399, Richard was forced to abdicate in favor of Henry, who ascended the throne as King Henry IV. The official reason for Richard's deposition was his alleged misrule, including accusations of tyranny, favoritism, and financial mismanagement. However, the reality was far more complex, involving personal vendettas, political rivalries, and a broader power struggle among England's elite. Richard's deposition marked a significant moment in English history. It was the first time a reigning monarch had been formally removed from power, setting a precedent for future conflicts over the nature of kingship and authority. The deposition also marked the end of the Plantagenet line stability, as the Wars of the Roses would later erupt between rival factions vying for the throne. As for Richard, his fate was sealed shortly after his abdication. He was imprisoned in Pontefract Castle, where he died under, let's say, mysterious circumstances in early 1400. While the official account claimed he starved to death, rumors of foul play persisted, fueling speculation and controversy for centuries. And let's be honest, when a deposed king dies in captivity, it's rarely due to natural causes. Henry IV's reign faced its own challenges, from rebellions to legitimacy crises, but his rise to power fundamentally reshaped the English monarchy. The deposition of Richard II serves as a stark reminder of the fragile balance between authority and accountability in medieval politics. It's a tale of ambition, betrayal, and the dangers of alienating your allies when you need them the most. So once again, thank you for joining me today on Outside View Scandals. And if you enjoyed this little dive into the dramatic deposition of Richard II, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below the video. This is Outside View Scandals, and I look forward to seeing you next time as we uncover another shocking chapter in history. And the next video is already right here in the end screen.